And I would say to Gary Gernant in response to that, you have plenty of jobs taking care of city services before you go off rewriting, socially re-engineering the fabric of American society.
Exactly.
Just to put this in comparison, it has taken this city council and mayor, this administration, 5 years to pass a new fire contract, a fire union contract. Each of the preceding 2 years, this mayor and this administration held public town hall meetings in each of the city council wards. There's 7 wards, 7 town hall meetings, just to discuss the intricacies of our city budget.
A good point.
Not a single town hall meeting for this issue, even though it affects thousands of businesses, hundreds of churches, the entire Christian and other faith-based communities in our society here, and yet very little public discourse. They ramrodded it through, claiming that it was the right thing to do, and in fact, it's absolutely the opposite. It's the wrong thing to do. The message they sent was not that Omaha is now open and accepting. It's that, I guess I would say, the message that was received by the people who actually live and work here, who pay their taxes here and have businesses here, was that we're a bunch of bigots and homophobes. That's how they're labeling us.
That's right.
They've labeled this as a campaign of hate, and it couldn't be anything closely to that.
I agree. Well, Patrick, just to keep in time here, I know that you have an associate in from Massachusetts, Brian Camenker, and he's with Mass Resistance. Now, he's going to be coming up and sharing some information with us. Can you just tell us a little bit about Brian? Or?
I will. He's my counterpart from Newton, Massachusetts, operating in Boston, to tie us together. I would say we're executing a petition drive here in Omaha to reverse the ordinance and strike the sexual orientation and gender identity language from our city's municipal code. And then we can get back to having a discussion. If we do have a problem with discrimination, let's get to the root cause. First off, prove it. Let's see some third-party research and interim study from the City Council before they move forward with any additional actions. And certainly before they implement anything else that's related, such as placement of foster care kids into gay households, gay adoption, punitive damages for these discrimination cases. All of that needs to be fleshed out and discussed in the public square. And so I brought along a special guest, Brian Camenker, who will share with you today some of the effects on their community that similar ordinances there have had. And I think you'll be shocked to learn just how invasive it can be into the social fabric of a community once an ordinance like this that we've just passed, sexual orientation and gender identity, does as soon as it gets set into law, because it's really a wedge issue, and it sets the stage for everything else, and it's shocking. And I'll let Brian kind of tell his story.
Okay, well, Patrick, thank you so much for being here with us today and for bringing your associates to really give us an overall picture of exactly what goes into this ordinance. So we're going to bring Brian up, Camenker, in just one moment. Switch out. And again, all this information, the link to the petition, will be up on my website at thesusansmithshow.wordpress.com. And you'll be able to find that information and locate my guest tonight for any questions or additional information that you may want to find out about this. Brian, thank you so much for being here with us. You're a long way from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I sure am.
Okay. Well, now what... You've heard what Patrick and I have discussed.
Right.
You have similar ordinances in Massachusetts, and what has been the effect of that?
Right. Well, first, what I can tell you is that what's happened here did not happen by accident. It was supported by national gay and lesbian groups, such as the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, which on their website is very prominent about how they go from city to city, organizing these things, funding these things. There's big money behind them, big corporate money, Every time you take a Southwest Airlines, money comes in to support this kind of thing. Same thing with Wells Fargo Bank. And
Ford Motor Company?
Yeah. This was very, very well planned and well executed. The reason that it got through the city council so easily is because they're very shrewd at how they lobby the legislators. And the reason that they're so focused on these anti-discrimination laws is because they are the staging ground for much more radical things that happen afterwards. Once gender identity and sexual orientation is written into the law, you can go enormous places. And you know, the law here, if you actually read the city statute, it talks about public accommodations, which includes bathrooms. It talks about differentiating. In other words, if at a public accommodation or your business you differentiate, somebody says, I don't like that guy in a dress, that opens you up to lawsuits. It opens you up to all kinds of legal punishments. It talks about benefits, company benefits, health care benefits. There's all, you know, a man who's transitioning to become a woman, there are interesting health issues that go on there.
Oh, medical costs.
Medical costs, city contracts. Let me tell you, and if you read the legislation, any company, whether they're based in Omaha or not, will have to also not only have these kinds of policies in place, be forced to file compliance reports that they support transgenderism and support all of these other homosexual issues. And finally, facilities, city facilities. Boy Scouts using city facilities, if they don't have the same plan, the same non-discrimination plan of gender identity and sexual orientation, they can be barred from using any city facilities, as can churches. So this is meant as a staging ground to many, many other things. And some of the other things that happen, that I can tell you have happened in Massachusetts, soon after the sexual orientation, law was passed, the gay legal groups sued the state police because the state police were stopping these gay guys who were cruising at public rest stops on the interstate. And the city and they sued the state police because they said that was discriminatory. And so let's just say you don't want to stop at a rest stop in Massachusetts at night. The public nudity laws are often challenged. The bathrooms. This is a serious thing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, men in dresses use women's bathrooms when these laws got passed. There was I don't know if they have Cheesecake Factory restaurants around here.
We do.
But there was a person that I talked to who was having a birthday party for his daughter at the Cheesecake Factory. The daughter went to the bathroom, came screaming outside because there was a man in there. Now, and this wasn't, a sexual predator. This was a guy in a dress.
Okay.
And he complained, and they told them they had to leave.
Yeah, that's outrageous to me.
This is where this is going.
Well, see, and everyone really needs to listen up out there, because this is a state who has passed these ordinances in various cities. This is what the fallout, the negative impact of what this kind of ordinance does. So men wearing dresses go into restaurants just to test them, just to push them. This has been in the paper. I mean, it's the other thing that starts to happen is the gay groups do these things called kiss-ins, where groups of guys will go into a downtown restaurant at the busy time and start kissing each other. And if the restaurant does anything or the management does anything, they can get fined. They can get thrown, all kinds of things. One bar in downtown Boston got fined $200,000 because they threw a couple of guys out that were kissing in front of everybody. Right, and this is pushing the envelope. And quite frankly, this is just one of the things that I don't like about these special interest groups, is that they push it to the limit. They cross that line just to see what will happen or what will make their point.
Well, that's the point of doing these things.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could go on and on. There was a dating service that was forced. This was in New Jersey. that was forced to have a homosexual section of their dating service. This was a Christian dating service, and they were forced to have a special, website for gay dating. This was the New Jersey courts found this because they were sued over the non-discrimination laws, and they actually sort of went out of business.
See, now what I don't understand is why, if the homosexual community wants to have a gay dating site, why don't they just set one up their own? Why require a company who is into a Christian dating? That's their business.
Well,
why force them? How can they force them to do that?
Well, you see, you're thinking like a conservative. That's how we would react.
Right.
But this lobby wants to change society.
Okay.
That's why they're doing
All right.
this. It's like, in Vermont, there was the bed and breakfast where, these are people that I know personally, where they didn't want to have a lesbian wedding reception. Because of the anti-discrimination laws, they had to pay $30,000.
Wow.
And they're about to go out of business.
Do you hear that, businesses in Omaha? And I think Grand Island, too, passed something similar.
And, the other issue that we're talking about is, these are very sort of lunatic issues. I mean, gender identity in the medical literature is known as gender identity disorder. Okay. It is a disorder in the DSM manual, DSM-4 manual, that needs help. And, this business of having a man having his breasts augmented through hormones or through silicone, or having his private parts taken off, or women having facial hair, this is a disorder.
Well, those are all medical costs, too, that we're all in.